We're actually live. Welcome to the Kop TV, the voice of football's most famous stand. Good morning and welcome back to the Kop TV, the voice of football's most famous stand. I'm joined by Doylad, my brother from another mother. How are we, fella?
I'm all right, lads. Feeling good this Monday morning. It's been one of them weekends that's dragged on, but you know what? This week's gonna be all right. It's gonna be all right.
I'm hoping so, bro. Let's hope it's better for everyone, including Liverpool. It hasn't been a great week at all, really, to be a Liverpool fan. The last two games we've witnessed, especially me being out here in what is supposed to be a very happy, sunny, sitting it down with rain tonight, and the last two games we've drawn and lost. So let's hope, bro, that we can seal this Champions League qualification for tomorrow night, and then hopefully we can beat Wolves at the weekend, which we will touch on. Now, since we played Ajax and we beat them 1-0 back in October, you'll remember the game. Reece Williams plays. Great win for Liverpool, although it was only a 1-0. So Ajax have actually played a few games since that, 6 games in fact. 8 games they've played since we played them. Do you want to hear the scores since we've played Ajax compared to ours? Right, so in 6 games, after they played us last, the first game after they played us, they beat Triple V 30. So, that's quite worrying, to be fair. 13-0. I mean, I've not even heard of a team win that much in professional football before. I'm not going to lie. That's a madness. That is a madness.
That's like what you get in like kids football, lads.
Yeah, Sunday League, football, Little League business, yeah. So, right, that was their first game since after they played us the first time. 13-0. The game after that, they played Atalanta in the Champions League. That was 2-2. And then they played Fortuna Sittard. They won 5-2 in that game. Then they played Midtjylland again in the Champions League. They won that 2-1. And then they went to Utrecht away. They won that 3-0. And then this is where it really starts to become quite worrying, because if it wasn't already, they play Heracles in the Dutch League. They win 5-0 at home. Then they play in the Champions League again and beat Midtjylland 3-1, which, they're only 2 points off us in the Champions League at this stage. And we've got to play them, by the way. And then, if that wasn't bad enough, they've just beaten FC Emmen 5-0 away from home on Saturday, and now we play them tomorrow. So in that time, and this again is quick maths, 13 plus 2, 15, plus 5, 20, plus 2, 22, 25, plus 5, 30. They have scored 38 goals since we last played them at the end of October, which isn't even a month ago. That's more than a goal for every day since we last was on the pitch. So they have scored 38 goals in that time, in a month. I mean, we, in comparison, have scored, off the top of my head, let me think. I'm going to go with
1 against Brighton.
Maybe 10 or 12 goals. Definitely not 38. I mean, we're playing this one tomorrow. Of course, we've got more injuries. Milner's now out of this one as well. Milner's pretty much our go-to captain in the Champions League, isn't he? Whenever Verge and Hendo aren't about. So, I mean, how do we even see this one going? I for one, cannot even call this game. I can't even call it. I have absolutely no idea what is going to happen in this one.
We can't now. This is the thing. I had this realization over the weekend. Is basically we are not the same Liverpool as last season, and so we can't expect.
We've just got to admit it now, don't we?
Yeah, we just can't expect it, lads. So right now, I'm just at a point where I'm like, hope for the best, innit? Just hope for the best.
Has it got to that stage?
Yeah, lads, it has, because we're playing a team that have scored 38 goals, and we've got a defence that is as strong as a pat of crisp, lad. You get me? Like Connolly, lads.
What crisp, lads?
No Walkers, lad. I mean, Walkers, because we're not talking no McCoys, because McCoys are strong, lad.
McCoys won't even snap. Yeah,
exactly, lad. We're talking about a straight up cheese and onion pack of crisp, lads, you know what I mean? And we like Connolly, look like Messi on the weekend, lads. You know what I mean? He was getting through, like, making runs, like, through our defence, and I just was like, what's going on here? Is this what the rest of the season's going to be like? And now you're telling me Milner is also out.
Yeah, no Thiago, no Ox, no Trent, no Gomez, no Verge.
Lads, do you know what?
It's just not looking good, bro, man.
Do you know what I'm thinking to do? Stick Robbo on the right. Like, just do it. Just stick Robbo on the right and put Tsimikas on the left. Just do it, lads.
You reckon, yeah?
Yeah, just do it.
Is that what it's come to now? Jesus.
Just do it. We need to put our best players on the pitch, lad. And just like Milner, I feel like Robbo is a good enough player. Or maybe just put Tsimikas right back, lad, and play Robbo in his best position. We can't play Nico Williams, lad. He's too young and inexperienced to be playing this amount of games, lad. Like, he's not gonna do well when
you say that, but
Reece Williams and that, lad. The two of them are gonna flop.
I mean, Nico Williams is 19 going on, right? There's a big argument to say, yes, he's too young, can't throw him in. But on the other hand, when Michael Owen was 19, he'd played 150 games for Liverpool, probably scored 80 goals.
Yeah.
So is it that he's not good enough? I don't think we can use the too young argument anymore. For me, that doesn't work because you've got players who are younger than him absolutely ripping up the Premier League. Look at Mason Greenwood, Phil Foden.
It's a fair point, but then you look at Michael Owen's later career and he was nowhere near. He was a shadow of the player that he was in his earlier career. And there's lots of players like that blossom very early and then die off. And then there's other players that take time to blossom, like Jordan Henderson, who weren't that great of a footballer until they got to a certain age and then they're revealed to be one of the best footballers. Does that make sense? So I think Nico is one of them players that seems like he's got a little bit more growing to do. And I mean, physically, he looks like he'll grow a little bit more. He'll get a bit thicker and a bit more weight on him. And that's what he needs. And also, his decision-making at the moment is just not great because he's not played many games. And really, if we wanted to play Nico, we probably should have done it last season a lot more because we won. We were ahead. We could have afforded to do it. Right now, we need to steady the ship, lad. So it's important for us to put our best players on the pitch, regardless if they're playing out of position in a little way. Like, for example, Tsimikas playing right back. I'm sorry, mate, if you're a full back, you can play either way. You can play either side. You just can, lads. That's the way I see it. You're a footballer, lad. You can play either side. It's not different. It's just another side of the pitch. So that's...
listen, bro. I didn't even think of this until you just said it then. I agree with you. I think all it is changing it up. I mean, you're going to have to... I mean, if you're a left-footed right back, it's obvious that you're going to cut in onto your left a lot if you're out on that right side. But I don't know. I think... I actually agree with you, bro. I think we should play Tsimikas / Robertson at right back. And I think today in training, if I was Klopp and I thought about maybe this can be an option for us, I'd have Sim looking balls in from like the edge of the box with his right foot for about 3 hours today. Do you know what I mean?
Exactly.
Just so there's absolutely no excuses.
Spot on, lad. Exactly what. And Klopp is the type of manager to do stuff like that. He's not adverse to putting players out of position when he needs to, lad. We've seen that with Milner. We've seen that with many different players. Bobby, for example, lad. He's literally formed Bobby into his own position. So I think that's what I'm worried about the centre back pairing having, Reece Williams with Matip or Fabinho. That's great, but what happens if Reece Williams is playing with Nico Williams as well, mate? I just feel like that having 2 weak links there is not good, and it showed on the weekend against Brighton when Nat Phillips was playing next to Nico Williams. There was just too much space because both of them didn't know where to be at the same time, and Connolly got through so many times on their side because of it. So I feel like if we're going to play one defender, maybe play Nico Williams at right back, but then play Fabinho and Matip at centre back. You know what I mean? We've got to afford these young players, essentially.
I 100% agree. I mean, let's talk. We'll do a full lineup prediction shortly. And if you are watching this video, guys, please, it helps us so. Give us a like, drop a little comment, and if you haven't already, please subscribe, just so we can keep the channel going. Now, let's talk about the match itself, because like I mentioned there, they've scored 38 goals in the last month. We have definitely not scored that many goals at all. Do you kind of worry now, Doyle, where the goals are going to come from? Because Salah hasn't scored for a few weeks. I know Mane obviously had one disallowed at the weekend. And it's kind of getting to a stage now where Bobby's obviously not scoring like he used to. Of course, Jota scoring, which is excellent, but I would like to see some more goals maybe spread out a bit. I mean, last season, our highest scorer outside the top is Alex Oxlade-Chamberlain, with 8 goals last season. Why are we not seeing as many goals from the midfield this year?
I think like our philosophy in our team, or our style, should I say, has always been that the attacking side comes from Trent and Robbo, and that's why you see them two getting goals as well, and you see them two getting assists. So our midfield is not predominantly there for goals and assists anymore. It's an unorthodox midfield. It's there to work and control the game. That's what it's there for. That's why you've got players like Gini, Hendo, and Milner and Fab. They don't offer goals, but they do offer stability, and that's what we've been doing. So I feel like that's the reason. It just may be that right now, because we haven't got Trent and we haven't got Robbo, our system is not working for the likes of Mane and Salah, who want to get in the box for crosses and want to get on the edge of the box for a rebound and all that type of stuff. So it's just one of them, lad. We're going through a mad time right now. We just got to. We're lucky that Jota's scoring, lad. That's all we can do, lad.
That's literally what's keeping us afloat right now, isn't it?
Yeah, it really is.
Yeah, really difficult one. A lot of comments coming in. Rudy saying our right back area was targeted even before our injuries. Totally true. I think way back to all the games that we've kind of lost really in the last 2 years. From what I can remember, all the goals that we conceded in those games have come down the right. You think back to that United game that we lost 2-1 when Rashford burst onto the scene and bodied Trent that game. You look at the goal Man City scored at the Etihad when that game where Lovren's let him come in from the kind of right central side. You look at the Watford game last year, a lot of balls were going over that right hand side over Trent. Arsenal picked us out in the Community Shield final with those balls across. So Ruby is right here. Our right back area was targeted even before our injuries, but this makes it way more important now that I think we have someone who is more experienced at right central back to help that person at right back, whoever that might be. Even if it is Trent, I still think when Gomez and Trent were there, teams did think, well, Van Dijk and Robertson is a strong side. Maybe we can target Gomez and Trent on that right side and just get balls into that channel. So that's something that even with Gomez and Trent in the team, teams are still targeting. And it is, something that we definitely need to address. What did you guys think of Salah getting pissed off when he got subbed? I mean, the day Salah is not pissed off when he gets subbed, I think that's to probably retire from football.
Yeah,
I think he has to be annoyed when he comes off. I was annoyed when he came off. I personally thought he should have been the one to stay on. And if anyone on that pitch should have come off on Saturday, should have been Minamino for me. Voice of MRJ backing up what Doyle says. Our midfield is set up to prevent counter-attacks, absolutely. And Nuclear Atom says this match has a high chance of being another grinding out result because of the many injuries, and Kloop will rest some key players for the Wolves match. Right, let's get into the lineup prediction then, bro, and then we'll get on to our score predictions later. But we both know this is going to be a really difficult game.
Yeah.
And I hate to say it, but I think it would be... I think at this stage it's more likely that we don't win this game than win it. And I say that...
We're Liverpool, aren't we? We're Liverpool, lad. What did we do in the Champions League when we won it, lads? We went down to the last fucking day, didn't we? Where we had to beat Napoli 1-0 to get through the group stage. Sometimes old habits don't die, lad, and sometimes we do that. That's what we do, though, don't we? Don't.
We do, though, don't we? Don't.
We do, though, don't we? Though. That's just what we do. Sometimes, but
yeah.
I still think we're gonna. I don't, for no second, do I think we're gonna get knocked out of this Champions League in this group stage. I don't think that, but I definitely think tomorrow playing a team
it's gonna be
that's
tough, man.
38 goals
38.
with a defence like ours.
They won 13-0. They beat a team 13-0.
I know, lads. Do you know what I mean?
Bro.
And we've been beat 7-2 this season already, and that was with Virgil and Gomez and Trent and Robbo. So,
Huddy boy saying, never AGT. How dare you say that? Liverpool 3-1 Ajax. Right, let's get into our lineup prediction then. I mean, we're forced into picking Alisson. which isn't a bad thing at all, but he just needs to start every single game.
Even
if we're playing against the pub team down the road.
He's playing, lads.
The Walton Breck pub team, he's playing, lads.
He's playing,
the
lads.
Lower Breck Road pub team, he's playing. Right, Alisson in goal. Right back, we're gonna go a bit unorthodox. We're gonna put a left back at right back. Because, like Doyle said, if you can play at left back, then surely you can play at right back as well. Are we going to Tsimikas at right back, bro?
Yeah, I feel like that's where.
Even though he didn't have a good game, he was subbed off in the last game against Atalanta.
This is the thing, though. We can try Tsimikas, and if he doesn't work, put Nico on second half, lad. This is the thing, lad. We need to try something else. We need to try. We've got players there, so let's have a little experiment. Yeah.
So Tsimikas at right back, centre backs. I think we have to have Matip. And Fab, I mean, there is a case to say, no, it's the Champions League, bring Reece Williams back. No. But for this, because it's such an important game, because we need to win it, because we can qualify tomorrow night, then it's definitely Matip and Fabi. Huddy Boy saying he'd rather play Tsimikas as well. Left back, surely. Played well in the last game.
Yeah,
right, midfield, bro. This is a tough one. I think Gini has to play. I think Hendo has to play.
Gini's got an investment in this game, lad. He loves playing against the Dutch teams. You've seen it last time when he played. He ran his socks off, so he's definitely playing, lad, because he'll give his all for this game. And is Hendo fit? Can he play?
Yeah, Hendo played the last half an hour of the Brighton game, so you'd like to think that makes him fit now. And listen, he's the type of player that after he sees a few points, he's going, right, I'm coming back. We're not messing around now. I'm organised, shout at everyone, get everyone in line. And we're going to win this, because it does feel like sometimes when Henderson, and especially Van Dijk, is a big shouter as well, bro. I don't know if you've ever seen him, but he's so vocal, as is Henderson. When they're both not on the pitch, I'm looking around going, yes, we have leaders, because Robertson, captain of Scotland, Gini, captain of Holland. Yes, we have leaders. Salah, captain of Egypt. Yes. Mane, captain of Senegal. Alisson as well. But I just love us to be a bit more vocal when these players aren't playing. So look, it's got to be Curtis Jones, hasn't it? Curtis Jones has to play this.
For me, right, out of all the kids, lad, he's the one giving the solid performances. He's not out. He's not like doing what Trent did, lad, and sparkling, lad. He's not doing that. But you know what he is doing? His job. You're not complaining about him because he's doing exactly what he needs to do in that midfield. So I'm happy for him to start the games, lad. Absolutely, get some experience under his belt as well. Scouts are in the team, lad. No problem.
Yeah, the intensity isn't there without Henderson. It's crazy. It's so true. Milner is a big leader. But obviously Milner's injured as well, hamstring now. That looks like it's a couple of weeks minimum, to be honest. And obviously we're going to have to think about who Ajax play. If they've scored this many goals, then they're obviously going to be a threat on either wing, to be honest. So Amir here says, I think Tsimikas right back, which I didn't think we'd ever say on this show. I really didn't think we'd ever say this, bro.
Fabinho and Matip as our centre-back pair, and that's our strongest centre-back pair. I didn't think I'd ever say that, lad.
I know. Right, so that's the midfield. To be honest, we do have a pretty much full selection when it comes to the strikers. I think Salah has to play. I think Mane has to play, and I'm going for Jota up front, bro. I'm not sure about you, but it has to be Diogo. I mean, I'd have Salah up top, Jota and Mane on either wing, and I think that's a strong. It's the strongest team that we can physically put out right now, surely.
What I'd say to them three is, I'd just go, lads, yous play up the top three, and yous decide what yous want to do. Yous can switch positions, yous can do whatever you want to do, but yous make sure you make an impact with what yous are doing, okay? So if something's not working on your side, fucking swap over. If you all want to take a turn in the middle, do that. But you need to make sure it's efficient and it works.
Communicate with just communicate yourselves and sort it out. If I was Klopp, I'd say
good enough players, lads.
I'd be like, in the changing room tomorrow, I'd be like, hey lads, do you remember when we won that Champions League in 2019? And they're like, yeah. And he's like, yeah. Do you want to win it again? And they go, yeah, of course. I go, all right, cool. All right, well, just go out there and win tonight then. Don't lose again, because that'll really piss me off. Yeah?
Just win then. Hey,
just go out, enjoy it. Yeah? Don't forget to enjoy it. That's important. But win it. Wrap it up in the first 30 minutes, lads, if you really want to make me happy. Do you know what I mean? Jota the Shotter. Our Swiss Army knife, Milner is injured as well. The football gods are doing us in. I mean, the football gods this week have really not liked football, because you look at the football gods, they've maybe the god, Maradona, R.I.P. of course. They've also, I mean, let's touch on it very quickly, bro. Raul Jimenez last night.
Oh my days, lad.
It's come out that he's fractured his skull, and he had an operation last night. That is horrible to hear. And listen, we're playing Wolves on Sunday night, and in a way, I'm like, oh great, Jimenez isn't playing. But at the same time, like watching that clip back, it's the sound. Oh, it's the sound. It's the crack. There's a big crack noise when they collide.
There was no fans in there as well, lad. So it was emphasised by the noise was emphasised by the lack of fans in the stadium. So it's terrifying to watch that. But
terrifying, bro.
You'd rather him play, wouldn't you? To be as a person, lad, you'd rather him play than have that injury. Lucky that he's all right, lad, because he looked, bro. I don't know how long it's going to take for him to recover or what it's going to be like. And what a miss for Wolves as well. He's a lad. I've got him in my fantasy team. That's how good he is. I think he's a fantastic player, lad. So
he's a brilliant striker. He actually reminds me a little bit in his style of play, like almost a Didier Drogba, just an absolute destroyer. Can head it, can shoot, can hold people off, can bring people into play. I actually said, we should be looking at Jimenez, especially in the summer when we were talking about bringing a striker in. Obviously got Jota, which is great. But yeah, a big shout out to Raul Jimenez, because that injury last night, I mean, if you were one of the players that was standing near to that and you heard it, you might... And you saw that they all gathered over him. They're going like this straight away to get the medical guys on.
Flapped, didn't they?
When that happens, bro, it really... He was down on the floor for like 10 minutes. Horrible to see. So yeah, I almost said rest in peace. He's not dead. He is alive. But yeah, big shout out to Raul Jimenez. Hopefully he recovers as soon as possible, because that one looks nasty. I mean, we've seen Peter have a fractured skull before. He had to wear a head guard for the rest of his career. We've seen Ryan Mason have a head injury like that, a fractured skull, and he had to retire at the age of 26. So Godspeed, God willing, Raul Jimenez gets better soon. But yeah, so the lineup we're going for: Alisson, Tsimikas back, which I never thought we'd say. Matip, Fabinho, Robertson in the defence. In the midfield, Curtis Jones, Henderson, Wijnaldum, and then up front, Salah, Jota, and Mane. That seems like a good enough team to do the job, but who knows? Let's go for a score prediction, though. This is going to be tough, man, because, like I said, I cannot call this one. They are in red-hot form. They've won their last 2 Champions League games.
This is my hope for the game, right, is they're going to think that we are weak, because we are. Our defence is weaker than it's ever been. But that's going to leave gaps. I'm hoping for us to counter-attack, bro. And we've got players like Jota, Salah and Mane who can exploit that. So I'm hoping that they just come at us and leave loads of gaps as a result. But the reality was, Atalanta did that to us, That's what they did to us, lad. And they had loads of gaps, and we never exploited them, lad. It was mad. There was so much space for us to exploit in that game, and we just didn't. It was madness. But yeah, I don't know. I can't call this one, lad. I'm going to be optimistic because I support Liverpool and I go into every game wanting to win. So I'm going to say 2-1 to Liverpool.
Voice of MRJ says Liverpool 14, Ajax 13. Oh yeah, to be fair, I mean, they've scored 13 goals recently in a game, so we laugh, but they have done it.
What makes me a little bit sad about this fixture? That both teams were like sort of going to play each other, weren't they, in the final instead of Tottenham, man. But Tottenham beat them, and that's when we were at the height of our powers, both teams.
And they were as well.
Exactly, that's what I'm saying. So it's a shame that now we're meeting when we're at not the height. You know what I mean? We're a bit weaker now, so that's a bit of a shame.
I mean, if that final did happen back in 2019, Ajax versus Liverpool, they still had Neres, Ziyech, Frankie de Jong. Van der Beek, played well for United yesterday. It's going to be a tough game. Karim says, we'll win, lads. Cheeky little 22-0. Love that. Jay reckons it's going to be a draw. I mean, a draw does still send Liverpool through. We should say that. But I think for the club's sake, for everyone's sake, and for confidence sake, let's get a win. Stopping us from going out there and getting a win. So,
I just want to wake up, lads, after the game and feel good about it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
After,
Oh, mate, that feeling has been away for a while, to be fair. Playing a left back there wouldn't be good for Nico's confidence. Fab has played there before. I mean, of course, it wouldn't be good for Nico's confidence, but if anything, that should spur him on. You know, it's a tough one for Nico. I'm not buying this whole he's too young anymore. I'm sorry, I'm just not buying it. There could be another Aston Villa if Ajax bring that same intensity. Please don't be saying stuff like that. Bloody hell. Also, they had De Ligt too in that centre.
Oh, yeah.
And he's unreal. Ibrahim is going for a 3-1. Jota, Mo, and Mane and Tadic for them. Kiefer goes for a 2-0 win to Liverpool. Doyle, what's your score?
2-1, lads. To us.
2-1 Liverpool. Who's going to score?
Positive. I'm going to say Salah because he's hungry, and Jota. Salah and Jota.
Salah and Jota to score. I'm going to go with 1-0.
1-0. Sounds about right, to be honest.
1-0.
Yeah.
I'd love us to get a clean sheet. It would do the world of good for the partnership that Fabinho and Matip do have. And we think when we play Wolves on Sunday, get through this game, obviously with no injuries. Let's say that first and foremost, because it seems like every game we get in an injury. But I think if we can get through this game with a clean sheet as well, then that would do us a world of good heading into Sunday's big game at Anfield under the lights against Wolves. No Jimenez for that one, so you know it would be potentially an easier job for Fabinho and Matip, but we'll have to see on that one. Listen, we will be back, of course, tomorrow with fan cam straight after full time, after the game against Ajax. Please let us know what your score prediction is, what your lineup prediction is in the comments. And like I said at the top of the show, please, before you leave, go and give us a cheeky like, subscribe, turn the notification bell on so you're never without a new video here on the Kop TV. AJ here says, Wijnaldum will score, trust me. And Nuclear with one last comment says, since Liverpool just about won last time, Liverpool this time could run riot. That's what we're all hoping for. If you're loving the content, if you're loving Doylad's expertise, then please, in the comments here, in the description, we have his YouTube channel link as well. So go and subscribe to that, and he will be uploading to that very soon as well. So yeah, guys, we will see you tomorrow after the game. Up the Reds.